And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at a game called Gorus Maximus. That's right, that's the name of the game, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is the cover. Now this is not a big disgusting gladiator game. In fact, this is a trick-taking game. Think hearts or spades or something like that. But the game is called Gorus Maximus for a reason. This is a trick-taking game that can go up to 8 players. So I'm always intrigued with trick-taking games, despite that somewhat gory cover. Again, it's in the name, so I guess what can I expect? Let's take a look. There's a giant deck of cards in this game that are made up of different schools of gladiators, or different suits in this game, and you're going to be using different cards based on the number of players who are in the game. So for example here, if I'm playing with 6 players, there will be 5 different color schools, and I'm going to use the 12 cards, the 0 and the 3 through 13 of each one for a 60 card deck. And then you'll deal the deck out evenly to everybody playing. So everyone's going to have some of these cards. One person goes first. That person can play any card they want from their hand. Now, as soon as they play that card becomes the preferred school. You'll keep track of what card is a preferred school with this card here, of the 5 different suits. Each other player has a choice when it comes to their turn. Everyone's going to play a card, and you either follow suit, you're going to play the same preferred school, so the next person could play a blue 2, maybe the person after that could play a blue 3. Or you can play a different color school under 2 circumstances. One, if you don't have any blue cards, and you can play pretty much any card from your hand. Or 2, if the person right before you plays a card, you can play that exact same card, the same number. So here, for example, I could play the green 3 since the person right before me played a blue 3. In that case, 2 things happen. First of all, the preferred suit changes to green. And actually, also I'm winning the trick at that point. The highest color of the preferred suit will win a trick. If there isn't a preferred gladiator group in a trick, then whoever plays the highest number of the card that's led. So in this case, the person who played the green 3 would get everything. If that card hadn't been played, then the person who played the 8 blue would have gotten everything. And so now we're looking for crowd points. So that's 2, 4, minus 5. This is actually worth minus 1 points. That's not very useful. But whoever wins that trick will then lead the next one playing any card from your hand, and this will continue. So as the game goes by, this could change multiple times. After all the cards have been played, everyone will add up their crowd-pleasing points, and whoever has the most is going to win the round. And the first person who is going to win 2 rounds, or I'm sorry, 3 crowd support. So once you're at 2 crowd support here, then once you get another one, you win the game. Whoever first person to win 3 times wins the whole game. So this game is all about these very graphic pictures here of people just covered with blood. And it's kind of weird because it's very cartoony at one point and also very gory at another point. And I don't know if the gore is over the top or not. I know it's over the top, but it's not really scary. I don't know how to explain it. The scariest picture is probably the one that's on the front of the box, where the guy getting punched in the jaw. But at the same time, it's not super family friendly either. It's very cartoony. The cards are very easy to tell apart because they each have a color, and they have an icon here, and it's easy to see how many points everything is worth. The game comes in a plastic box here, which has these chips. These are great chips, by the way, to show how many crowd-pleasing points you have. Or you can use these cards. Why would you use the cards over the chips? Well, they include a little deck box in here so you can play it on the go. Just take the cards you need for the number of players, put those cards in, and you got it. This is not good. This card here, and moving this paper clip, we just let the paper clip sit on top of it. To move this up and down, you can already see the card's kind of a little bent and warped. There's got to be a better way to keep track of it. I would have had a cube for each color or something and stuck that in front of everybody. But for the most part, the components are fine. When it comes to trick-taking games, I don't care if they have a theme or not. So this gory gladiator theme I don't really care one way or the other. Gladiators are interesting. I'm not necessarily comfortable with the level of gore. At the same time, it's silly gore. I don't know how to explain it. I just know that there's going to be some situations I'm not going to be able to use this game in because some people are just not going to like that. They're going to sit there and go, that's gross. I don't want to play that way. And I think, it's kind of maybe a bit of a detraction against the game. But more importantly than that is the rulebook. I wanted to talk about the rulebook real briefly. I like trick-taking games. I like rulebooks. This rulebook's fairly clear on how to play the game, except it never lets go with the theme. So, for example, it will say, here's some rules. The first bout begins with the player to the left of the dealer leading with any gladiator. The school of this first gladiator of the round is both the initiating school and the preferred school. If a player has a gladiator from the initiating school in their troop, they must enter one of those gladiators into the bout with one exception. What they mean by this is you can play a card. That card is the card that's the trick that's being led this round, and it's the trump trick, essentially. And if you have a card of that color, you have to play it. Say that! Oh my goodness, the whole time I'm reading this and I'm like, wait, what? Oh, okay. The highest ranked gladiator from the preferred school will win the bout. If no gladiator from the preferred school entered the bout, you mean the player played a card? Again, I know they want to go with the theme, but there comes a time to leave that out. And this rulebook was annoying. Okay, so that being said, what do I think about the game itself? Well, essentially, it's kind of like a trick-taking game mixed with Uno, which isn't a bad thing. It's a light trick-taking game. You just follow the suit. You're trying to get trying to win some tricks, trying not to win others with negative points. And if you have the same card someone else has, boom, you can play it too. Now, I have not played a trick-taking game that has this in it. I've heard that some do exist where because basically you must play the same color as the last person or the same number. That's the very definition of Uno, but there's more strategy to the game than that. You do know what numbers are in the set, and so you can kind of figure things out and try to make your big move at one point. And it's easy and simple to play. Therefore, I tend to like trick-taking games like that. It is light, and if you play with 8 players, first of all, you're not playing if someone wins 3 times. That's insanity. You could play it's way too many times. But we just play, as we play with every trick-taking game, you just play till you get tired of playing it and do something else. But the having a game that can play that many players is also entertaining. This is kind of, hey, we got 6 people here. Let's play this. Everyone's throwing cards, middle table. You're laughing, playing cards, changing the suit. It's a light, frolicky, trick-taking game with a kind of not light theme on it. So I like it. I do. And I would play it. I enjoy it a lot, actually. So my enjoyment of it supersedes my being a little weirded out by the theme and not liking the weird rule book. But I like the simplicity of, hey, same color, same card, and that whole, are you kidding me? You have the yellow 5. I thought I had this trick wrapped up. I played the green 5. I was going to win it, and you played the yellow 5, and now everything has changed. Or that person played the yellow 5, and I'm like, yes, I had no green cards anyway. Now I play my yellow 9 and take the whole thing. So good, the kind of game you can sit and talk and have a good conversation about something else while playing it. I like it. And so, I gotta say, I recommend it. Gorus Maximus. Unless you don't like blood, then you better check a different game out. Dice Tower Judgment approved.